Right now, your garden is sitting at a crossroads. July is here, the heat is real, and most gardeners are doing one of two things. They're either maintaining what they planted in spring and just waiting for it all to wind down, or they are making moves right now that will keep their garden absolutely loaded all the way through fall and even into winter. And here's the thing, the difference between those two gardeners is not skill, it's not space, and it's not even time. It's knowing which 5 crops to put in the ground this month. I am going to walk you through all 5 today, and I promise you, at least 2 of them are going to surprise you. A lot of people think July is too late, too hot, or just a maintenance month. This video is going to change that thinking completely. And stay with me all the way to the end, because I'm giving you a complete variety guide, specific seed names, and my personal timing formula, so you know exactly what to buy and exactly when to plant it, no matter where you live in the United States. Before we jump in, I want to say this clearly. It does not matter if you are in Minnesota with a shorter summer, Georgia with brutal heat and a long growing season, or somewhere in the middle like Ohio or Missouri. Everything I'm covering today applies to you. For each crop, I'll give you the timing for shorter, cooler seasons and the timing for longer, hotter climates. So this video works for your specific garden. Let's get into it. Crop number 1, kale. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Kale? In July? But here's the thing, and this is the insight that most gardening videos completely skip over. Kale started in July is not July kale. It is fall kale, and fall kale is an entirely different experience. When you plant kale seeds right now and let them grow through August and into September, something incredible happens when the first cold nights arrive. The plant, sensing frost, begins converting its starches directly into sugars as a natural survival mechanism. The result is a leaf that was sharp and slightly bitter in September, becomes genuinely sweet, tender, and almost nutty by mid-October. It is the same plant, but cold weather transforms it into something that tastes like it was grown by a completely different gardener. And here's what makes this a flat-out must plant for July. Established kale plants can survive temperatures down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit with no protection at all. Some varieties, like Winterbor, handle temperatures near -5. That means the kale you plant this month is still feeding you in late November, in December, and in climates where winters are mild, well into the new year. We are talking about a single planting that produces long after every other crop in your garden is completely finished. For those of you in zones 3 through 5 with first frost dates in early to mid-October, you want to get kale seeds in the ground as soon as possible, ideally in the first 2 weeks of July. That gives you 60 to 75 days of growth before your first frost, which is right where you want to be. For those in zones 6 through 8 where frost doesn't show up until late October or November, you have a bit more flexibility and can plant through mid-July to mid-August. Now for variety selection. And this is where you can really gain an edge. If you are new to growing kale, start with Red Russian. It matures in just 50 days. It has gorgeous flat leaves with purple veins. It is exceptionally cold hardy, down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And the flavor after frost is almost sweet in a way that makes people who claim they don't like kale change their minds quickly. For colder zones, Dwarf Blue Curled, also called Vates, is your most cold-tolerant option. Matures in around 55 days, and stays compact enough for raised beds and containers. And if you want something with genuine gourmet depth, Lacinato, which some people call dinosaur kale or Tuscan kale, takes 60 to 90 days, but produces dark, pebbled, intensely rich flavored leaves that get sweeter with every frost. It is an Italian heirloom that home gardeners in this country massively underuse. Plant kale in full sun, give it good moisture during germination, and let the fall season do the rest of the work for you. Crop number 2, carrots. Here is something most gardeners do not know. The best tasting carrots you will ever grow in your life are not spring carrots. They are fall carrots. Carrots planted in summer and harvested in the fall after the weather has cooled are noticeably sweeter, more tender, and more flavorful than anything you pulled out of the ground in June. The reason is simple biology. As soil temperatures drop, carrots convert their stored starches into sugars as protection against the cold. That is not a subtle difference. Pull a spring-planted carrot and pull a fall-planted carrot side by side, and taste them both. The fall carrot wins every single time. The timing formula here is straightforward. Take your average first fall frost date, count backwards 70 to 80 days depending on your variety, and add an extra 2 weeks as a buffer because plants grow more slowly in cooling weather. If your first frost is around October 15th, you want carrot seeds in the ground by early to mid-July. If your first frost is in mid-November, you have until mid to late August, though I would encourage you not to wait that long. Get them in now and give them every possible day to develop. The second advantage of July carrots that competitors never talk about is germination speed. Spring carrot seeds go into cold, wet soil and can take 2 to 3 weeks to show any sign of life. July carrot seeds go into warm, already worked soil and sprout dramatically faster. The warm soil gets you going quickly, and then the cooling fall temperatures finish those roots into the sweetest harvest of the year. One practical trick that has genuinely changed how I grow fall carrots. After you sow the seeds, lay a wooden board flat over the row. It traps moisture, keeps the soil from crusting in the summer heat, and protects the tiny seeds during germination. Check under it every 2 to 3 days, and the moment you see those first sprouts curling upward, remove the board completely. That single technique dramatically improves germination rates in summer heat. For varieties, Nantes types like Scarlet Nantes are your best starting point. Cylindrical, nearly coreless, exceptionally sweet, and they mature in around 65 to 70 days in most garden soils. If you have heavy clay soil or a shallow raised bed, go with Chantenay. Royal Chantenay specifically is a stocky, broad-shouldered carrot that pushes through heavier ground, where Nantes types would struggle, and it still delivers that same sweet fall flavor. For something that will genuinely make your family look at a carrot differently, try Parisian, a round, golf ball-shaped heirloom that kids find fascinating and that works perfectly in shallow containers. Direct sow all of these 1/4 inch deep, keep the bed consistently moist through germination, and then let the cooling weather of September and October build the flavor for you. Crop number 3, bush beans. If there is one crop on this list that is the most forgiving, most productive, and most confidence-building thing you can put in the ground in July, it is bush beans. These plants were practically designed for late summer planting. They germinate fast in warm soil. They grow fast. And most varieties go from seed to harvest in just 50 to 60 days. What that means for you right now is this. If you live in a climate where your first frost arrives in mid to late October, you still have an entirely complete harvest window wide open in front of you. You can direct sow bush beans today, and you will be picking fresh pods in mid to late August. No transplanting, no hardening off, no special treatment. You push the seed into the soil about 1 inch deep, give it consistent water, and get out of the way. Here is the detail I love about bush beans that most July planting videos never bring up. Bush beans are nitrogen fixers. The roots form a partnership with soil bacteria that pulls nitrogen out of the air and deposits it directly into your soil. That means the beds where your spring crops exhausted the soil are actively being replenished while your beans produce. You are harvesting food and rebuilding your garden at the same time. That is one of the most elegant things a vegetable does. For succession planting, sow a new row every 2 to 3 weeks. The warm soil gets early batches going quickly, and staggered plantings keep you in a continuous harvest right up to frost. If your first frost is in October, a planting right now and another in 3 weeks covers you beautifully through September and into early October. For varieties, Provider is one of the most dependable bush beans for summer planting, 50 days, heat-tolerant, and reliable in zones 3 through 8. Contender is another excellent choice, also around 50 days, and specifically bred to handle heat. Both are widely available and perform consistently across the country. Avoid pole beans for this planting window. They take longer to mature, and the extra support structure is not worth the trade-off when bush types perform this well this quickly. Before we go to crops 4 and 5, if this video is helping you think about your garden differently, take a second and hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach other gardeners who are wondering the same questions you were 20 minutes ago. We are real gardeners here at Serene Green, sharing real information, and your support is what makes this channel grow. Crop number 4, beets. I want to make a case for beets, because beets are one of the most underestimated fall crops in the American home garden. Most people who do not grow beets think of them as a grocery store vegetable, dark and earthy and unremarkable. But a beet you pull out of your own garden in October, after the first cool nights have worked through the soil, is a fundamentally different vegetable. The flavor becomes sweeter, the color more vibrant, and the texture crisper than anything you will find in a store. And here is the secret that makes beets especially worth your space in July. Beets give you 2 harvests from 1 planting. The roots take time, but while you are waiting, the greens are fully edible from the moment the plants are large enough to thin. Young beet greens in a salad, or lightly sautéed with a little olive oil, are genuinely delicious, and you are getting nutrition from the bed weeks before the roots are even close to ready. For July planting, the timing math works out beautifully. Beets mature in roughly 55 to 70 days, depending on variety. Direct sow them 8 to 12 weeks before your first expected frost. In Zone 5 with an October 15th frost, that means planting now in early July is perfect timing. In Zones 7 and 8 with frost arriving in November, you can plant through late July. Keep the bed mulched to hold soil moisture, and keep temperatures manageable during germination, because beet seeds can be sluggish in overly hot soil. Once those seedlings are an inch tall, thin them to about 3 inches apart. Do not skip the thinning step. Crowded roots produce small, deformed beets, and the thinnings are the best salad greens you will eat all month. For varieties, Detroit Dark Red is the gold standard for reliability. It matures in about 60 days. It performs consistently across zones, and the flavor after a frost or 2 is excellent. For something that looks extraordinary in the garden and on the plate, Early Wonder Tall Top produces large, edible greens and sweet roots in around 55 days. If you want to do something your neighbors definitely are not doing, plant a mix that includes Chioggia, a stunning Italian heirloom with concentric red and white rings inside the root that looks like a candy cane when you slice it open. The flavor is milder and sweeter than standard beets, and the visual impact on a fall salad is genuinely striking. Beets are direct sown. They require almost no maintenance beyond watering and thinning, and the fall harvest produces roots with flavor that spring beets simply cannot match. This is one of the most rewarding July plantings you will make. Crop number 5. A second wave of cucumbers and zucchini. By now, many of you are watching your original cucumber vines, and zucchini plants start to look tired. The leaves are getting rough, the production has slowed, and if you are dealing with any pest pressure, the plants are losing that battle a little more each week. This is not a failure. This is exactly how these plants work. Cucumbers and zucchini were never meant to produce all summer from a single planting. They germinate fast, fruit hard, and exhaust themselves in roughly 8 to 12 weeks. Expecting them to carry you from May to October is asking them to do something they are not built for. The answer is succession planting, and July is the perfect month to put your second wave in the ground. While your original plants are still producing their last fruits, your new seedlings are establishing roots and building toward the moment they take over completely. There will be no gap in your harvest. You will go from the old plants directly into the new ones, and your kitchen will not know the difference. For cucumbers, this is also where variety selection matters more than most people realize. If you live in a climate with intense July heat, think Georgia, Texas, Florida, the desert Southwest standard slicing cucumbers like Marketmore can genuinely struggle. They slow down, get bitter, and set less fruit in extreme temperatures. Armenian cucumbers, technically a melon but nearly identical in flavor to a cucumber, handle summer heat dramatically better and will keep producing through conditions that shut down regular varieties completely. If your summers are brutal, Armenian cucumber is the variety that keeps your harvest going. For those in moderate to cooler climates, a fresh planting of Marketmore 76 or Straight 8 gives you crisp, classic cucumbers from seed in about 55 days. For zucchini, Black Beauty and Astia, a compact patio variety perfect for containers and raised beds, are both reliable performers that hit production in 50 to 55 days. Sow cucumbers and zucchini directly into the ground, or transplant seedlings if you have them started. Either way, warm July soil means they will establish quickly. Give them good drainage, consistent water at the base of the plant rather than overhead, and a simple trellis for your cucumbers to climb. Plant your second wave now, and then plan your third wave in another 4 to 6 weeks. This is the rhythm that keeps your garden producing all the way until frost shuts everything down in October or November. Let's bring this all together. You now have 5 crops: kale, carrots, bush beans, beets, and a second wave of cucumbers and zucchini that will carry serene green gardens from right now all the way through fall. And here is the thing about the July gardener that most people miss. While everyone else is just maintaining and waiting for summer to end, you are actively building the next phase of your harvest season. The gardener who plants nothing in July looks at an empty garden in September. The gardener who follows this plan is still harvesting in November. Now, for the variety guide I promised you at the beginning. For kale, Red Russian, 50 days, best for beginners and all cold zones. Dwarf Blue Curled, 55 days, best for containers and cold climates. Lacinato, 60 to 90 days, best for flavor depth and longer growing seasons. For carrots, Scarlet Nantes, 65 to 70 days, best all-purpose variety for most soils. Royal Chantenay, 65 to 75 days, best for heavy or clay soils. Parisian, 60 days, best for containers and shallow raised beds. For bush beans, Provider, 50 days, most heat-tolerant and reliable. Contender, 50 days, excellent performer across all zones. For beets, Detroit Dark Red, 60 days, the dependable classic. Early Wonder Tall Top, 55 days, best for edible greens alongside the roots. Chioggia, 55 days, the visual showstopper of the fall garden. For cucumbers, Armenian cucumber for hot climates. Marketmore 76, for moderate climates. Straight 8, as a reliable all-purpose variety. For zucchini, Black Beauty, 50 days, and Astia for containers, 55 days. And the frost date formula that ties all of this together. Find your average first fall frost date. Count backwards by the days to maturity on your seed packet. Then add 2 more weeks as a buffer. That is your last safe planting date. Anything you can get in the ground before that date has a full growing window. July is not the end of your growing season. For the gardeners watching this right now, it is the beginning of the best part.